Alrighty guys, ladies and gents, welcome. It's that time again. Welcome to another London session. Hope you guys are all doing well on this Wednesday. And as always guys, good morning, good afternoon, very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Looking forward to a big stream here today. A lot of news about moving forward. Today, a big day news wise. Let's just take a look at that. We've got obviously FOMC to come later on into today. There is construction PMI also for the pound, which may impact, obviously will have some sort of impact on the pound for those who are trading it. But obviously the big one here with FOMC to come. And also another big day tomorrow for both the pound and the US dollar. So something to consider, something to keep an eye on. As far as our session here today, other than maybe, if I'm still on a doubt, it will be for PMI. Not much really as far as schedule news, but again, we need to keep an eye on anything in case things break, which often can happen. So guys, as per usual, you guys know the drill. If you could, TikTok, smash that screen for me. YouTube, smash that like button for me, and let's get this show on the road. Took a nice trade yesterday as well with the members group for pre-NY, just before the NY Open. I can quickly cover that later on GJ. But anyway guys, let's take a look at the gold. And as always, starting with the weekly time frame. And what we can see is on that particular time frame, we are forming a very strong bullish candle. We are engulfing still the high of the previous candle. So based off that strong bullish, let's just mark in the current weekly candles high. And again, based off that, we're likely going to be looking to see within it what levels we have, because those levels provide potential entry points for buys upon the right confirmation. And they may also provide potential entry points for sells if we begin to pop below those levels to take it back down to the next potential level. Onto the daily time frame. Nice strong closure here. We've closed above the bodies of the candles here to the left. Current candle rejecting quite strong, the current daily candle though. We are still obviously bullish in structure, so just the current weekly candles high, which is the previous daily candles high, we've got that level marked in. It's also marking the current daily candles low and see what we've got below that point there. So if we begin to break that previous daily candles high, I think there's a high probability that we could come back up to that retest the all-time high level yet again at that 3,500 flat. Onto the 4-hour time frame. So let's just quickly go back to the daily. So the daily's tapped into obviously a previous resistance here to the left, and so far we're bouncing off it, respecting it. So that's something to also consider. Perhaps we've reached a point of reversal, and also quite evident in the 4 hours to why this might be the case. 4 hours bullish in structure. Not only that, we have recently and previously formed support on the way up at this level, which lines up with some previous resistance here to the left. So as long as we really remain above this whole level, I'll mark it in the low of that bearish candle for the time being, and I will adjust it accordingly. So if we remain above that point, there's a good chance that the low is in for the week, and we could, sorry, not for the week, for the day, and we could continue to back towards the high of the previous daily candle. We're going to mark in the resistance at that candle's high as well, and we're going to make our way down to the minor time frame. So obviously bullish in structure. As we can see, above the previous daily candles high, we are entering that wick on the daily. However, it's very clean traffic here on the 4-hour time frame. So we begin to break above, we're likely to have options to look for buys above that point there. So we'll mark it in. Onto the minor time frames now. And the 30-minute structure, believe it or not, is actually bearish. It has flipped bearish upon this closure below. Actually, no, upon this closure below that swing point, to be exact, where it will flip back bullish. So we'll mark in that level first of all, is above this swing point here around that 34.0405 sort of region. So off the back of that, just needing a zone to the upside, I'd be looking for potential buys. Not saying I won't consider buys prior to that, but obvious entry points for buys for me would be above this 34, roughly 34.05. So we want to see price approach it, flip the 30-minute structure bullish, close above, retest. That point we're likely heading back up to the daily high, and also obviously that previous daily candles high. further options above it. Now what I can also see is we've just recently formed a minor resistance here at 33.92. Above that point there, let's just measure it in to see what sort of we actually do have substantial margin. We've got it over 80 pips margin to potentially play within. So what I would consider, going now down to the 15-minute time frame, I can leave that zone as is, seeing we don't really have a zone based off the bearish candles. What I'm going to be considering is if we close above this 33.92 sort of region, so long as the stop loss isn't huge and I've got a decent risk to reward, then I would consider my options to buy it above that point there. The anticipation that again, if we break through and close above one resistance, one ceiling, and respect it, form a floor, we're likely heading up to the next ceiling, which would be that 3400 flat sort of region. So based off that, we'll be looking for the buys above that point there. Now as far as further options, obviously guys, if it did pop back down, the lower the better, the cleaner the move the better as well, is that I once again just look to buy it from the 4-hour support. Obviously buy low, sell high, that type of scenario. Just trading the range at that point, so that's what I would also be considering. And now for the sells guys, my options to sell it, again, if we pull back, the preference it would be for it to pull back higher towards that 34.02, region and reject from that point there, retest the last significant lower high on the 30-minute time frame, reject it, and then look for options to take a sell from that point there. However, if we create a few bullish candles and tap into that 33.92 sort of region, only to reject, so long as we've got some sort of clean traffic to the downside, may also consider a sell below the current blue zone just here. So if that's the case, we're creating an equal high rejection of that zone, and as long as we have a price action catalyst, I would consider options to sell it from that point there. So that is my opinion of the gold. Hopefully that did make sense. Pretty easy one to follow guys. Make sure to smash that screen. Guys as well, if you have questions or any charts you'd like me to look at, as always, you guys know the drill. Feel free to send those in and I'll get to those shortly. In the meantime, let's quickly take a look at GJ. Caught a nice pure price action trade yesterday with the team for pre-MY, which was somewhere here, just here. I can go over that. It was a rejection of a 4-hour zone and looks better on the 30, to be honest. Just there. We do tap into the 4 hours only to reject. That to me showed a lot of exhaustion, had no lower wick, which meant the alley had no lower wick. So it's simple, just waiting for an upper wick to form, and took the entry as it began to break. And that took about 1 minute to drop to about 14 pips and enough to secure some profit. So that was a nice win. Now moving on to GJ. So the weekly guys, you often hear me say this, when we don't have a wick, in this case the upside, we don't necessarily need one. Yes, there is a high probability we will pull back to create one. But how many times, for those who follow me for a long time now, how many times have you heard me say, it doesn't always have to, because so long as any pullback within the current weekly candle is met by resistance, then what's likely going to happen is we're going to head back down towards low and potentially create a lower low. As soon as you start creating that breaking low of the previous candle, and you've then got the counter probabilities to the downside, it's highly unlikely you're going to flip back and create the upper wick, and it's more probable that you will end up trending strong to the downside. So we haven't done that just yet, so we still may obviously pull back to create the upper wick, so we'll mark that in. Onto the daily time frame. So we are again still calling it bullish currently in the weekly. I will start to refer to the current weekly candle come MY open. Looking at daily, bearish in structure at support though. Nice strong closure below that below the bodies of the candles here to the left, not quite below the support itself. Current candle has not much of a low wick and is fast approaching the high of the previous daily, so we'll mark in the high of that previous daily and we'll see what we got to the left of that. So we are still creating some higher lows within the micro trend itself. Onto the 4 hour, and still respecting structure on the 4 hour, so it is a very strong level that we are bouncing off. So as long as we really remain above that 190 flat region, then there is a good chance and a higher probability that we will head back up based off the 4 hour time frame. So bullish on the 4 hour at resistance. So let's just now go down, make our way down to the 30. We'll just remove the weekly open, we're far off it. And the 30-minute time frame has recently flipped back bullish, or flipped it at early into the day, into the Asian session. So therefore, I have, moving forward, I actually have a bullish bias on GJ. However, we are at resistance, so it would not really make all that much sense to look to buy it at the present time. So I'm going to mark in that level of support. I'm going to just adjust this zone ever so slightly. Corporate the most recent support. And what we can see is, for me, moving forward on GJ, options will be, first of all, for the buyers, I'm going to be waiting for a pullback. Obviously, the deeper the better. The preference would be for it to pop back down towards that 190.850. Form a support above that point there, where I can look for some more probable options to buy it. And again, need to have the margin, so on and so forth. So that would be one potential option. And GJ, if we just pull back to grab liquidity from within the range, then I'm just waiting a price action catalyst. Now, further option for GJ will be again below from the 4 hour support, very similar to gold. We will still be bullish in structure on the 30, so long as we really remain above this 190.320 sort of region. So it makes sense to look for the buys above and just trade the range, so long as we do get the right confirmation to do so. Now, as far as any other buy options to the upside, it's quite choppy. So in this scenario, what I do prefer is clean impulse, cut through those wicks to the left. And what that does is open up the range and makes it a lot more cleaner in my personal opinion. So then I'll just be waiting for a pullback. Nice clean candles to form, support, and then look for an option to take a buy. And as for the sells, right now, it's a little bit tricky. It's a bit choppy below the current level. We'll look at the 15. You just got consolidation. So for the time being, for the sells, guys, we were to break the most recent, well, one of the most recent supports was support formed at the Asian, just after the open, actually, now into the Asian session. We will start popping below that level just there, and there's a high probability we could make the move all the way back down to the 4 hour support. So below 197.30 roughly, I would be looking for my options to take a sell. And that is my personal opinion of both gold and GJ. Make of that what you will. And let's keep an eye on gold. Let's keep a bit of an eye on gold. Trying to break. If this was a 4 hour zone, I'd be selling it right now, because it's got no lower wick and there's a good chance it could reject it. But in order to distinguish between the more significant and the minor zones, that's why I have them in different colors. The blue zones are the 15 and 30 minute. They're not as strong. So therefore, the impulse sell based off the price tapping into a level without a low wick in anticipation will pull back and flip to create a low wick. It's not valid in this situation. So yesterday on GJ, when I was on with the members, I actually missed that move. Completely forgot about it, but we still managed to get the move after the candle closed either way. So waiting for gold, just over 10 minutes, and see if we're going to close above, and we may have our first potential option. How'd you like that? Tony Gold, Mark Harris, Wei Liang. Mark, I'm assuming you may have jumped across from TikTok. Welcome. Franco, morning to you, brother. Aaron, great to have you on the stream, my friend. Wei Liang, EU next. We'll have a look for you. Sketchmas, morning to you too. Peter J, GU, and GA. Ooh, got a few quick early ones. Jack, all good, my friend. TikTok, thank you to new followers. Just quickly go through those questions before I have a look at those charts while we wait for gold to close. Welcome everyone on TikTok. Appreciate all the support. Aiden Fox 30. I'm in. I think you mean buyers. Right now I'm down like 200. Alright, you need to have a plan. How do you manage the trade? Mark, what's my opinion of trading the trend lines? I don't use them. They tend to line up with levels of support and resistance for the most part. So yeah, Dan, thank you for that sticker, my friend. Appreciate it. All those stickers. Nakai to go. All good, mate. Whenever. It's there. It's great value. It's good to see that, you know, there's quite a few in the group now. Yeah, it's a good place to be. To the bicep emoji or the blue rectangle liquidity. It's yeah, more zones of liquidity in my opinion. It's just how I'm marking my zones. Bratuk in that GJ. Not sure what you mean by that. Gold is like a big brother. Don't go against him. Follow trend. Trend is your friend. Yep, I agree. Michael, what am I trading? Gold, spot gold, and also pound yen. Holding a long position for 29.80. Nice one. Going to gold. You're going to buy gold, Young Asia? Okay. What is a TP? Not in a trade, so I don't have a TP. You're a new trader. How long is London session? What time does it end and start? Well, it starts at technically 8 AM UK time. It ends at, I think is it 4 PM? 5 PM? I'm not sure the technicalities. I'm never up for the technical, so I'm never up for that either way. So being here in Oz. Plan for gold, just been over it. TP, bro, took no 39.98. Are we gonna open a trade? Potentially. Waiting for 7 minutes. Guys, let me get through some of these charts. EU was the first one, so let me take a look at EU. Looking at the weekly, we are forming quite a strong bullish candle. Not yet engulfing, but we do have that high low higher. Well, not high but high low inside bar candle. Daily, nice liquidity candle. That previous daily broke the low and up closing above. Current candles pulled back quite significantly. Let's mark in the previous daily high. Structurally, we are bullish. 4 hour is technically bearish. Let's just mark in resistance, and we're at resistance just now, so it may not be the best place to look for buy options. It's the most recent support. Let's make our way down to the 30. All right, the 30, I'd argue, is technically bearish. So we've got the 30s bearish, we've got the weekly as, I call it bullish, to be honest. We've got the daily as bullish and the 4 hours bullish, so it's technically a bullish bias. But seeing prices at a 4 hour resistance, wouldn't necessarily be wanting to buy it at that point. And to the upside, it's quite tricky, to be honest. Similar GJ to the upside, I'd rather create a clean move to cut through the mess to the left, pull back, form support, then look for options to buy it. Otherwise, I'd be looking to buy it from lower down. If it respects support around 113.30. And as far as sells, you need some form of catalyst to present at the current level if you are to sell it. So I wouldn't just take it off one bearish M30. Maybe wait for it to form a little bit of minor support. Kind of confirming a bit of a lower high just now if it did reject. And then so it doesn't look great, if I'm to be honest. Sorry, it's, yeah, it doesn't look fantastic. Quickly on GU. Assuming it's similar to EU. Yeah, the weekly still rejecting very significant level on the high time frame. Daily, close strong bullish, similar to EU as well. Current candle, let's just mark in a high and low of it and see what got above it. Structurally, it is bullish. 4 hour is technically, ooh, could argue it's bullish, to be honest. Yeah, I'd argue it's actually bullish. It's a bit of a tricky one, but I argue it's bullish. So be marking in the resistance at the daily high and a support at the daily low, and likely be looking at options either side of it. So the 4 hours bullish, we've got the dailies bullish. The M30 structure is also, in the way I see it, technically bullish. So therefore, I would be in favor of looking for options to buy it for me on GU. But again, similar to EU, it's just there's no real clean area at the moment. And to be quite frank, it is a lot cleaner below for a potential sell below 133,359 to be exact. However, so that'd be based off more so the way the daily is forming. So if the daily was to approach its own low, seeing we've already formed support at that level, only to close below it, then there's going to be a high probability that the price will make its way back down towards that 133.10. So options for a potential pullback, sell below that point there, 133.359. And I'd definitely be keen on looking to buy it. It did make that pullback into the clean traffic above that 133.310. That is GU. Above, exact same shit as EU and GJ. Let it create a clean move, cut through, pull back, form support, so on and so forth. How long left on gold? Let's quickly look at it. 3 minutes. Alrighty. GA was the other one, I haven't forgotten, but I kind of want to keep a bit of an eye on gold here. So what we want to see is, there's a bit of volume right now. I may entertain a limit order. And that would be at the high of this bearish candle. 30, whatever that is on your broker. To my team. Let me just send you guys the link. Just want to see something as well. Something. Oh, it's my team. Look at that. Something we are testing. Good to see it's working. Got to test it out properly before we actually begin to trade it more though. All right, what I'm looking at is potential limit orders, guys, on gold. Want this candle to close. Let's just mark it in. High is 33.9264, so it has to close 33.9344 roughly, minimum. It's gonna do that. I mean, I want it to, yeah, eyeballing it. You want it to close above that point. Stop loss is an issue. Stop loss is a real issue. Let's just check this out. Stop loss is going to be a big one. Not ideal. High is 33.9253 on IC markets. Oh, I don't like this rejection too, to be honest. It's looking okay. It's looking okay, guys. So I'm looking at a potential limit order back at the high of this bearish candle. Limit more, maybe not. Not if it closes there, because it doesn't tick the box. It has to close above it. And wow, may not do so. Well, similar to yesterday when we were almost ready to set an order, it became invalid in the last moments. Gold is about to do the same thing here, so it's not valid, guys. It's close below. Again, having these rules that work well for me, what that does is just takes out the should I, would I, could I, I'm not sure, what do I do? It's just yes or no. It's black or white. So there's no entry. I really don't like that rejection. But what could happen is now it's the same scenario on the 30. The 30 closes significantly above the 30. I want it to be at least minimum. It's got to be at least 10 pips minimum above. So let's put that back in. That's where we want to close on a 30. Or the limit wants to be valid again. Josh, you're going short gold, okay. Mark, 4 PM, yep, for session close. Took short oil, yeah. I think oil's not a bad option for a long, to be honest, for a swing hold as well. Just based off fundamentals, not more so than anything else. I'm not talking about technicals now. Michael, who knows? Potentially gold, GJ, for all I know, could present. Took gold's going to create higher highs potentially. How many minutes, guys? For what? 2 is Marquitos. What is your strategy? Price action at predetermined levels, and I follow generally a bias based off 4 different time frames. Gives me an overall direction I want to be trading in. So it's not SMC, FVG, or A.C.T, whatever it is. It's none of that. It's just price action. That's what it is. You just got to watch. Hunter watch strat again. Just you'll watch and learn, mate. It's price action. Price action provides my signals at the levels I want to get involved. Yeah, I should check gold 1 hour. Do the same thing all time high when bottom was 32.01. Did call buys from that level for longer term hold, guys. Remember, he's still floating in heaps of profit. The hourly, I mean, the hourly looks good if it begins to pop above 34.04. It's the same as the M30. I learned one thing about gold. If you want to trade it, you want to hold it long term, volatility. That's fair enough. Deluxe, good morning to you. Bidu, you're bullish. Can you upside down, head and shoulder? Can you see upside down head? I don't trade patterns, to be honest, man. Again, if you can use it to add confidence to a trade, by all means, but I just don't trade them. Bartman, appreciate you. Kyle, good morning to you, mate. Let's get to GA. That was the last of the most recent requests. And let's start the weekly. So weekly did open with a gap to the downside. We do have a lower high, lower low to the previous. Forming back or flipping back bullish at the minute. Still an indecision candle. Not a great deal we can make of that, other than the fact that it does have a lower high, lower low. So probabilities would suggest there is potential for it to continue to the downside. Or we may have something different on the other time frames. Daily, an awkward candle, but the current candle has done what most candles would do after a closure like we did yesterday. Left a long upper wick, closing week bullish. Current candle has obviously dropped early on. It has now popped back up. Tapping into some the wicks here, the wick here to the left. Structurally, it does remain bullish, but very choppy on that time frame. The 4 hours definitely bearish, but once again we've bounced off some support here. Previous candle closed strong bullish. Current candle has a high low, higher high to that candle. Above it looks good for potential buys, so let's mark that in. Below it may also provide options for sells based off the 4 hours. So anyway, let's just mark in some levels here. As far as support, I'll mark that in. We'll adjust it. Will we? That's not enough of a zone, to be honest. I'm just going to use the open of the candle. All right, so the 30 is bearish, but it does look very clean above the current daily candle's high. So if price was to pop above it, seeing we're consolidating at that same level we consolidated at towards the end of yesterday's trading, you want to see a nice clean closure above it. Got some very clean traffic to the left hand side. See, again, seeing it's coming from consolidation, you need the closure above, the retest continuation. As far as sells, the M30 would really, you could argue it's flipped back bullish actually. Sells are going to be tricky because you've got lots of wicks here to the left. To be honest, it's going to resemble a bit of a mess on the 15. Yeah, sells are quite tricky to be honest. Cleanest sells will come below. Yeah, for the sells, I'd rather sell on the pullback. Doesn't really help you much. I just don't like the level it's currently trading within. What I would prefer to see in this situation is what I say to my team: let it create the first move, cut through the mess. Whoops. Cleaner, the better. The deeper, the better. And then look for potential buys. Otherwise, wait for it to pull back, and then you're playing within a clean area yet again. So we have that. It's a tricky one. So for me, GA, I'd just be looking to buy it on a clean pullback, form support, or buy it above the current daily candle's high. So gold, we're waiting on, once again, waiting on that closure. We also may have a catalyst on the 15. So what I want to see just now, guys, is either for the 30-minute limit to be valid, limit buy needs to close above this horizontal. If that's not to be the case, what I prefer and want to see to validate the trade is a weak bearish closure. If we do get that, then we form minor resistance above the previous level. Then if price was to break the minor resistance, there's a high probability we'll head back up. So that could be a potential option also. So watch gold still. Still looking for potential gold entries. Peter, yep, GA from 8 does look very clean above that level. F90, g'day to you. Sylvia, good afternoon to you. No name, my predictions on gold. Well, I'm wanting to see how this candle closes. So we're either got to close like this and look for buys above the bearish candle high on the following candle, or I want it to close bullish and I want the 30 to close above this horizontal, and then we could potentially look at limit orders. But what we can see is a lot of volume in these candles. So we want it to be quite a strong closure if it was to close bullish. Because like I mentioned yesterday, when the limit order was close to being valid, but it did what it did just on the previous candle, pulled back. The issue is if it just, why I have these rules, because if it just closes above, we know gold has a lot of volume. When it creates that lower wick, it's likely to create quite a significant one. So if I was just to trust it on a pure closure above, you're going to be stuck in significant drawdown. You're not going to feel comfortable about it. So that's why I have the rule where it has to be about 10 pips above, because the least, you know, again, it's going to create the low wick. Again, you may be in some drawdown, but it's not going to be likely anyway. If it is to work, likely not going to be a big drawdown. Whereas it took it off the back, if you took it off the back of that candle closure, you'd be stuck in quite a bit of drawdown, to be honest. You would have been. So once again, there's reasons why I have these rules. Mark gold is looking promising in your opinion. Yeah, I like it too. To be honest, I actually prefer the bearish setup. If this, the buy if this candle closes weak bearish above. The trade from yesterday for the MI call, the team it was just simple price action. Very simple entry. Very probable entry. And that trade literally lasted about a minute and a half. Hit TP. Had a pretty small target because of the minor support. Hit the first target and then secured partials and popped back up to entry. And the rider was taken out. So again, I'm fully aware. If I'm just patient and stick to my plan, eventually something presents. When? I don't know. It may not be on stream, and maybe could be MY, I don't know. But I just need to be patient because I know there's a very, very good chance it'll be a winning trade if I have the discipline to wait. Just under 3 minutes, guys. Let's see. GJ rejecting, all good. Just remove that zone. So it tapped into the low of the zone. It'd be really nice if we now begun to pop back up. Deluxe 10, do you need current candle to close above 33.90 to consider a buy? Above 33.90, yeah, or above it, yes, because that will mean this candle flips and closes 33.92.60 roughly. We'll close back weak bearish, providing a minor resistance above the previous level. And that provides a new entry point, but the way it's rejecting just now. Oh, guys, similar to GJ yesterday, but it's not a 4-hour level. That's the only difference. We could potentially look at some very impulsive sells here on gold. So similar to GJ, I want it to close very weak bullish, very weak bullish. What I want to see is the new candle create an upper wick, and then off the back of the fact that hourly has no low wick, we are rejecting resistance. It could be an opportunity to take it as it begins to break. So let's just watch this. All right, let's keep an eye on this. So it's being fluid in the markets, guys. Sometimes we can quickly change what we're looking at. We have the right catalyst to do so. The low is 33.87.89, so 33.87. $70 roughly. Now the issue once again is stop loss, so you need an upper wick. I want to close very weak. I want to reject. Because now if it's the break, has to travel. Don't want it to close up in that blue zone. Has to reject. Oh, it's closed right at it just to add drama. It's going to travel around 29 pips to trigger into a trade. Needs an upper wick. Definitely needs an upper wick. not taking it without it. Looks like it's about to trigger in if you had the auto. Yeah, guys, I need the upper wick. It's a simple rule I have. I'm not gonna break it. All right, let's see. Let's just patiently wait and see if it does pull back. Right, pretty much at the entry though, had it create the upper wick. Brad, g'day to you, mate. Long time. Hope you're doing well. Good to have you back on the stream. Welcome, welcome. Mark, I know you don't like patterns, but I have a bearish pennant on my chart. Possible sell. Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. Totally fair enough. All right, so this is better, and this is why I want the upper wick. Because without it, we know there's a high probability that we will pull back to create it. Had you have been triggered in, you've now licking your wounds, feeling bad about it. All right. So I'm going to set a sell stop below the low of that previous candle. So I've set it for 33.87.70. Stop loss will be just above the current candle's high. So let me just move that. It's around 46 pip stop roughly, which is pretty standard on gold. So that's what I'm looking at. All right, but if this pulls back much further, then I'm going to remove it, because stop loss is going to become yet another issue. Possible upgrading trend on the 15 view deluxe? Yeah, potentially. We'll see. Nico, yeah, I'm looking at it sell. Not in just yet though. And because it's quite impulsive, I will follow my rules to a T. If it gets to about 10 pips, I'm going to take a bit of partial, little bit of position off the table, maybe half, and get to break even. The target, however, would be that 33.82. And then down to the zone lower down around at 33.74. Tough one to manage, guys, because of the entry. The stop loss will be based off the entry candle. Only real way to manage it is if it triggers in and pops straight back up and breaks its own, flips back bullish, and you'll save yourself a few pips. Not a great deal. It's literally the only way you can really go about managing it. Deluxe 10, what I need. Current candle to close to not close. No, I've got a self stop in. Nico in a buy. Okay. Molly Grubs. I've not taken a buy just yet. It's off the back of the rejection of that previous 30. The hourly still not got that lower wick. We are rejecting resistance. Structure on a 30 is still bearish. And what we did was we dropped straight the opener's candle towards the low of the previous. Did not set the order until we pulled back up to create the upper wick. And once we pulled back up to create the upper wick, I set a sell stop back below its low. Because if we were to reject yet again and begin to break our own low, break the previous candle's low, There's a high probability we're grabbing liquidity from this zone to head down a little bit further. But if we flip and begin to push up a little bit higher, I'm going to have to remove it because it just means the stop loss is going to be a big issue yet again. And there could be buys yet again, guys. It's at one of those levels where if you get the right catalyst in either direction, it could be options. Wei Liang, EU. Yeah, it's a go over EU before, so it's at some resistance here. Similar type of scenario, you got a kind of doji candle at the resistance. I mean, potential sign of reversal if it begins to break it, that it could head down, but there's also a potential that it could be just a pause. And if we begin to break the pretty much the doji candle's high, then we could continue up. The issue is it's at resistance, so I wouldn't favor the buys. Personally, I think it's closed a weak bullish candle. I would preference a little bit of support in the 15 and closure below it, or either that or a bearish engulfing M30. Alrighty guys, gold pushing back up. Gonna remove the order. Stop loss is now going to be an issue. Actually, let's just measure it. 47 pips. No, it's hold on. $49. Let's keep it in for the time being. Gonna have to adjust my stop a little bit. Could be just a bit of a 5-minute pull, but this is good on the 5 if we actually close back a bullish candle and then begin to reject. Unknown monk, yeah, this is gold. Molly grubs, all good, mate, all good. Good to see numbers on YouTube are up a bit. I'm assuming quite a few have jumped across from TikTok. Be sure to subscribe as well, guys. Don't forget to sub. Alright, so the other thing is that I need to consider is the way the 15 closes. If it closes a doji, I'm going to keep the order in. If it closes weak bullish, leaving a long low wick, I'm going to need to wait for the following 15-minute candle to do its thing and see where we close. And if it closes near its low, I will then put the order back in. So we'll wait and watch it on the 15. Not fast if it closes pretty much like this or a doji. GTX gold will boom, bro. Yeah, could. Definitely could. I've got options as well. I'd be considering for buys. Unknown monk, sorry if you repeat, but why the sell on gold? Surely a bull market right now. Well, the 30 minutes bearish, and I'm not in just yet. And it's off the back of the fact that the 30-minute structure is technically bearish. We're rejecting a previous resistance. We've got a long upper wick on the previous candle. No lower wick on that candle as well. The hourly has not got a lower wick. Good chance it still could come back down to create that. If this was a 4-hour zone, I would have taken an impulse sell. So playing in line with the actual the minor time frame structure at the minute. Also strength of the daily. But yeah, the bias is bullish, but I see a potential opportunity for a quick scalp to the downside. I also see potential for a buy. So for that to be the case, we want it to close right up near the high of that bearish candle. So we need to be quick, guys. If this in the next 4.5 minutes closes up near the high, I'm going to look for a buy the back of that, because then we can say we're rejecting this resistance, grab liquidity from the range below, only to close back above it. There's a high probability then if the new candle creates a bit of a low wick and begins to break above that bearish candle's high, the minor pause above the resistance, high probability we're going to end up popping back up to tap into the zone here at 3400 flat. GTX, it bought from 33.67, will make new high. Yeah, I believe it will at some point as well. Young Asia, finger crossed, buying gold at 33.92.55. Oh, you got an order? Okay. I do wish you luck. Unknown Monk, all good. Mark, yeah, it is. Definitely is. And it could create that high low, could get tagged in, and I could take a loss, who knows. But one way to find out it's technically valid the way I see it, so I've got the sell stop in. I'm just patiently waiting. Been in some bloody good form on and off the stream, and again it's just by following some clear-cut rules that work time and time again. Hikes, got some pretty outrageous forecast, but good on you. Gold 1200, I love that, in all honesty. I would love that. I'd be buying it for, I'd be selling my house. Honestly, I'd be giving away everything except for my son. I would love if gold got to 1200, honestly. BTC 2 million, maybe one day, who knows. ETH 12k, that would be nice. I do have some ETH. Hikes Tesla 800, yeah, possibly. That's if doesn't go under beforehand. Deluxe 10, how do I measure resistance? So again, I incorporate the highest point of any bearish candle. You could say, well, we've got a new high. Yes, I understand. But prior to it, this was the highest point of any bearish candle at that level. So I connect it from the closest body to the highest point. The same thing in a 4 hour, and I adjust it. You'll see, when I do analysis, you'll see how I go about it. We're close to being triggered in, guys. Well, I am. All right. Let's see. All looking great at the beginning. So if it does flip, I'm going to cut half. So yeah. Largest lot, full margin sell, never full margin, mate. Not worth it. Used to do shit like that. Corny, good afternoon to you. The sell stop is at, well, was at 33.87.70, so it's tagged me in. And it's popped back up, it's all good. 15, it's likely to crane up a wick, and then we want to begin to flip and break the low of the previous candle. Let's quickly look at GJ. Nothing on GJ at the minute. So we'll see. GBPJPY, this is gold. Mark, you meant gold. Okay. This is good old gold, which has got me stuck in a fair bit of drawdown. It's not an easy one to manage. Really not an easy one to manage. Could this be potentially the first loss in a while? Who knows? We're a couple pips in drawdown at the minute. Unknown Monk again. You got levels here to the left. I'll start securing early because it's very impulsive entry. Marius, yes. Phil, good morning to you, mate. Coming to London Open, so really love for it to make a move prior to it. To our side as well, obviously. Alright, 15's cranes up a week. Yeah, it's a really tough one to manage, guys. Normally I'd be really strict and want to start managing it, to be honest, being, you know, 16, 17 pips in drawdown. Let's quickly look at the 5. Nice closure on the 5. If it drops to 33.87, then you're out. Well, may the best person win, my friend. Flavius, yes, I am stuck in about 10 pip drawdown. Lemon, 15 and 30. Based off the rejection of that previous candle and also the alley, had no lower wick at the time. I mean, it still could be an entry on the next alley. If we're still in this, guys, session open. If you're not in it, I'd be waiting for London Open now. An upper wick to form, and based off the alley time frame and close like this, you'd be looking at enter as it breaks the low. Z-Man, yes. It's not looking crash hot, to be honest. I'm gonna try to sit this out for the next 11 minutes. Young Asia, it's all good. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion. No name? Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna close half. I've closed half as the 15 flipped back. It was about minus 24. Yeah, it's quite impulsive, guys. I'm gonna close another half. It's about to flip back bullish, so gotta manage the trades. Not gonna sit through it if it begins to flip, because they, again, coming close to session open, it could now be creating that support. Probably the most impulsive trade I've taken in quite some time, to be honest. Similar to yesterday's, but yesterday's was a lot weaker of a closure, so it was a much better, higher probability entry. This one had to travel a lot further just to trigger in. Now I'm going to watch it also on the hourly because I may be able to scale it back in based off the hourly. If the hourly closes weak bullish, then I'm going to look to place some orders again back below low of the bullish candle. Mark, tipping point, yeah, not looking great. I'm closing it, guys. I don't like it. Don't like the fact that it keeps popping back up to this level, so I'd rather just get out for small loss and reassess, wait for the candle to close. That's the first loss in quite some time, so it's all good. You're allowed to take losses to manage it. So we'll see. Now I'm just going to patiently wait for the hourly. I want to see how the hourly closes, and I may look to take an entry again based off that. If it closes above, then it could be options to buy it. If not, and it rejects to close weak bullish, you may have options to sell it. That's how I'm going to play this right now. I'm going to be stubborn with the drawdown. I don't like sitting through it, so I'm going to take the loss on that one and wait for the hourly to present. Ooh, shit, I forgot to do the before and after. So yeah, itchy. Be careful how these names, God, guys. Was in, but not anymore. Don't like it anymore. Lemon, yeah, pretty much what I did. Carl, yeah, that's right now the better option, to be honest. Buy's not looking bad for potentially for session open. So not a great start, but it's all good. Just for next key. Well, I started hunting partials earlier. By the end of it, it was about 32 was the end, where I end up closing the rest of it. Hold on, where's... Just add it to the YouTube stream. Yeah, to be honest, very impulsive, guys. Probably not, a bit uncharacteristic, because I really should have waited for it to close weaker bullish. But it is what it is. We're human. We have these moments where we make some errors, but all good. We'll move on, reassess, and we'll wait and see how this candle now closes. Like I said, if it hourly rejects now and closes very weak bullish, I'm still going to trust the sells. If it closes like so, there's not much I can do. If the 15 closes back above, now we definitely want to close above the body and back above the zone, the body of the candle to the left there, the bearish candle, back above this resistance. What that will do is close the M30, the liquidity candle, even a long wick to the downside, only to close back above, and then I'll be looking for a low wick to buy it. Frankie and GU buys from 133.630. Okay, yep. Got. Yep, the weak pause. Okay, looking pretty good. So I'm watching it, still watching it very closely, guys. Look at it reject just now. Typical. Price went down and broke its own high again. Okay, so similar to gold. I had one of my trading gold. Young Asia 33.92. Maybe not in the minute. Still contemplating sells. If it closes like so, it's a weak closure. Stronger confirmation of the hourly. Still believe it's a pretty good option. You also may have a weak bullish candle closure. So you could have an option based off that as well. Still bearish in structure. If you form a weak support just now, you could have an option just below that bullish candle. So let's use the fib. I mean, for that to be valid, it has to close below 0.382. So if it closes below there, you're forming a minor support below the resistance. Based off that, I won't need to wait for it to break the low of the bearish candle, could enter a few pips higher up as it breaks low of the bullish candle. And that's another confluence. So you'd have the hourly rejecting, closing weak bullish. Based off that, that could be the first catalyst. And within it, you've got a 15-minute minor support. If it closes as is, it's the worst thing that could happen in regards to potential entries for session open for me. It's not strong enough to suggest we're ready to head back up. Good chance it will head back up based off that. But again, according to my rules, I need a strong closure. To be honest, I kind of broke it to get involved in that trade as well, but all good. It's my own mistake. Christians is by now. Yeah, Young Asia, it's not doing anything, is it? It's just trying to stop everyone out. From close above 33.92. Yeah, 33.92.60 is where I want to close above. Behind, sell GJ. A little bit late if you're trying to sell it, in my opinion. You're at support. Shit trade, really. Yeah, it happens. All right, 40 seconds. It needs to reject or sell really quickly, or it needs to pop up above that horizontal. Quick smart. You want the 30 to close up near its high if there's to be an option to buy it. This is a little bit better push. Oh, this is going to be really quick. It's going to be really quick, guys. It's closed. It's going to close up near its high. You need a low wick. And you can potentially look for an entry as it breaks the bullish candle's high. What is the highest point? Oh, got the TP below. Doesn't make sense, does it? So I'm going to look for an entry just above that bullish candle's high. I like the way we actually, shit, we closed back, didn't we? Oh, this is tough, guys. Not quite closed. It pulled back in the last second. It's technically according to my rules, it's not valid. Price action. Literally in the last second that pulled back. Very tricky. Very, very tricky in the minute. Does look good for potential to continue up if it breaks high that previous candle. But it didn't tick the box. Didn't tick the box, guys. Yeah, very risky entry if you're interested above that bullish candle's high. But it technically didn't tick the box. No, not margin call, man. Not margin call. I had the, on MetaTrader, I had the TP set for below the stop loss, so that's why it wouldn't let me execute. Or set the order, sorry. If I've watched the movie Called Movies, it's a good movie. Never watched it, to be honest. Man, oh man. Was that not at that horizontal? Right at the end of the candle? Yeah, so if anyone is interested in very impulsive entry, looking at above the previous candle's high, it's not, again, in accordance to my rules, hasn't quite ticked the box. What else? AU, rejecting. AU still at resistance. Get AU. EJ sells look pretty good. Well, that weak bullish candle's low. 30-minute structure is technically bearish. Hourly close back bearish engulfing. EJ looks really good. Gold, gold, gold. It's a tough one. That's rump 45. Well, I was looking at both. Now this is gold. User 2725, you're in buys and gold. Fair enough, mate. Fortunately, just didn't tick the box for me to set the order, so I'm just patiently chilling. Need to reassess.
Hey, good morning.
How are you, mate?
Hey, fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Not the best start, but all good.
Also on my side, right now I close 50% at the low of the M50 candle, and now I'm closing it.
It happens, mate. It happens.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it will go back because there's no wick.
Yeah, I think. To be honest, I think both of them, both the entries are a bit aggressive when I look at it. GU, it's not kind of. I understand based on price action. That's what I was also, you know, kind of counting on gold, how it didn't have the wick and then popped up, down, create the wick and then broke its own high or whatever. But it's still essentially in consolidation here.
Yeah, but so it was not. It was, as I mentioned on the stream. So on the M50, so it was going down, and then for me it was creating liquidity, grabbing liquidity because it breaks its own high again.
Yeah.
So to the upside. The issue for me is it's closed above the
okay, yeah.
Correct. So, and this was for me then a clear indication, okay, I can get here some buys. So, and at the end, it went not bad. So I think it was 12 pips. How much pips? 4.5. I want to close 5 pips, 50% in profit, but it never reached. So this was my point. Maybe I should close on the entry, maybe some
Yeah.
partials
Yeah.
to manage risk. But okay, so I think the entry was valid.
Yeah, fair enough. I totally understand. Yeah, gold was very, very, very impulsive. Is that the big difference between that closure and similar entry taken on GJ yesterday? Big difference between the levels too. GJ was at a 4-hour zone, so it made a lot more sense just there. And you can see the difference. That closed very weak. This one still closed with a decent bullish body at a 30-minute zone. So to me, yeah, a little bit, perhaps a little reckless, to be honest. Not too happy with that, but all good. It happens. You're allowed to make mistakes. So we'll see. Rejecting just now. It's broken low with that bullish candle. Now I'd want it to close below for him to consider any sales. Ali, more aggressive. Yeah, it's at the moment FOMC as well, so it could be a bit tricky. F90, yep, haven't really touched it. Ship cap, be careful. Yeah, that's another thing. Wei Liang, EU. Need a closure, mate. There's no impulse entries here. We're just consolidating now on gold. Not doing much at all. Deluxe 10, I need to close well below the bullish candle, the body of the bullish candle. To buy it, it's just, I mean, it looks like a stop loss hunting at the moment. I know there's no real such thing, but a lot of people have their stop loss placed below, for instance, a bullish candle. If they're in a buy, been taken out. Flips, triggers people into a buy, and a wide stop loss. And it could make the move, but for me it's just not. It's very, very impulsive to take that as an entry, so I just need to wait. What trade do I using, Rohit? Just waiting. 33.89. Yeah, that'd be a really nice option. It is what it is. You're in buy some 33.77. Nice one. It's forming a liquidity candle just here, but you got that wick to the left. But yeah, I've got to wait till this candle closes. Guys, give me a minute and I will be back very, very quickly. Alrighty guys, I'm back. Wow, look at gold. Unbelievable. F90 because the Australians become more patient with your entries. Nice one, good to hear it. Young Asia trader or buy gold to increase demand. Look, limits the supply. Let move the market. This one, I think it's going to hit 34, 38. Yeah, there's a good chance it could. All right, so we're going to wait for the 15. And what we're going to do is we need a lower wick because the stop loss is way too wide. We're rejecting that previous range. We've popped back above it. Now we are, hang on, how far do we need to close above? So I have that bearish candle. 61, so 35, 61. Right at that point there, that's where it has to close above for a limit order. Otherwise, we're looking for continuation buys. Lower wick, continuation buys. The issue would be stop loss. The stop loss is it's nasty. It's really tough. But continuation buys, to be honest, guys, I wanted to close up near its high, create a small low wick, and then look to buy it. The way it's rejecting just now, it doesn't give me that great a deal of confidence, to be honest. So. Leo, no, I'm not in anything at the minute. Alright, hold on. So you're potentially looking at entry at the high of that bearish candle. 33.92, 50. No, it's not 53, hold on. $33. 94.62. Needs a lower wick before any continuation trade as well, guys. There is no continuation entry without a lower wick. It's gone. Alright, forget it. No entry. Gold doing gold things. That's it. Nothing for me on gold now. Oh, GA. GA buy limit. Yeah, GA buy limit orders look good. The high of that bearish candle. Stop loss back below the bullish candle. Doesn't look bad. And the other option on GA is if it flips back, pushes back above this resistance and closes back weak bullish, that would be an option. I don't trade it. There's nothing that I can do. So this is better on gold. So now it's creating its lower wick. All right. Now let's see. for it to break its own high again. How much margin is there? 30, about 32 pips once you count for spread. Stop loss about 25. Ali, I'm again sticking to rules that work for me, and it's pulling back too far, so there's no entry. Had it pulled back to create small low wick, then there could have been an entry for broke its own high. But again, the rule, I can't have a massive stop loss, and the way this is rejecting, there is no entry. So it's at a level, I'm just waiting for the right signal. There is no emotion about it. Again, I'm just trading what I see. Samaraj, I do, when I take trades, I look at trades, I do call it in the group. Yesterday's GJ sells was called with ample time for anyone who was interested. That was in the trade ideas section. So that was really nice. That took literally like a minute and a half for it to melt into TP. But it's not a signal service, so if you're signing up for a signal service, don't. It's an it's education. I teach you why, like I explain why I took a trade. So I journal every trade, and I go into full detail. I even upload a video, so we'll upload that one, giving a brief explanation of why I took the entry. That goes here in the trade journal section. So has the video, has the charts, has the reasoning for the trade and what happened. So heaps of wins. Obviously you got to have some losses in between, but you can see there's quite a lot of wins there. Most of them is stretched there, heaps of wins in a row. So there's nothing at the minute on gold, guys. Just let it do its thing. It's a bit tricky at the minute. Leo, yeah, still pretty much consolidation. There's no clear direction at the minute. Looks like it's going to break to the upside, but it keeps rejecting every time it looks like it's going to pop up. Or rejects, comes back down, triggers in sellers, pops back up. It's just being tricky. So the best thing is just to wait patiently, wait for counter closures. In the minute, it's just a mess. It's a very tricky area. What you could do just now is, though, seeing we've closed and cut through this level, you now just adjust this zone to this point here. And that becomes the new entry point for a potential sell. For the buys, can't yet put in that resistance. That could become a new potential entry point above it for a buy, but again, likely not going to have the margin. Ali, what I think about people going groups to get signals and buy and sell. Well, look, I understand why some might do it. I fell for it, and it's not falling for it, to be honest. You just kind of, when you're new to it all, you kind of want a quick fix. You know, I did it. I paid an absolute fortune and got nothing, absolutely nothing out of it. Literally, I lost money from it. That was 8 years ago when I first started. Paid $250 US a month, and that was for literally baby pips. They literally stole all the information of baby pips. I just didn't know of baby pips then. And people and are about $30 a month for me, and includes a course I've put together. It took me 15 months to do so. It's beside me. But anyway, yeah, so I understand there's a place for it, but I feel at the end of the day you need to learn to fish for yourself. So if you're taking a signal group or in a signal group, taking it and trying to understand why they've called a signal, then that's okay. I don't mind that. But if you're taking it just purely for entries, good luck, to be honest. Because I remember at the time when they were calling signals, I'm thinking, what the hell, what, why is that an entry? And I couldn't even ask the guy. You'd ask, they wouldn't respond. They would not reply as to why, or be a very simple response. We never went on a live call or anything with the mentor, not once, when I first started with that. So I believe it's best to learn to fish for yourself. Let, you know, your catalyst provide your signal, and that's what I do. I have been in a signal service where I called signals and I absolutely killed it, to be honest. Started with 4 of us and I was the last one standing at the end the last few months, and I destroyed it in the last few months, but it just got too much. It was mentally draining. Sitting there on a charts for 6 to 8 hours a day, trying to find trades. And scalping, the nature of scalping is you get to TP secure quickly, get to break even quickly. By the time you actually type it all in, it's a little bit too late. So yeah, so I'm thought about starting a signal service again, but I don't want to be sat there for 8 hours a day fishing trades. It's not what I do. Smarty stocks 03, what I think of gold. Destroying people at the minute. Needs to patiently wait. Shaquille, would I recommend trading from the phone? No, wouldn't. By the time you actually modify, or you know, whatever, modify a trade, enter the position, whatever, it moves, especially on gold, moves so quickly. It's, yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it. Not saying I haven't done it, but I try not to. I prefer not to. Sorry, Franco.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe some additional remark to what you mentioned with the signals, not providing it. So for me, we know each other, I don't know, more or less 2 years, and it will completely change your nature. So because you are a very patient trader,
yeah,
and looking for trades, for signals, will completely change what you are at the end. So it's not your nature. And I think it's good if you remain like you are.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not about to jump into a signal service again anytime soon. I'm happy to give out the idea again, but when I give out the idea in a VIP, it's up to you guys to really manage it. Or I can update you. That's what I do. Update as quickly as possible. But when it's like yesterday, GJ, when it just, you know, hit literally within a minute and a half, hit the level I was targeting. Basically, there's not much I can do about it if you're not paying attention and you can't, you know, follow along. It's very difficult. So that's why I don't call it signals. Just call it ideas. Ali, big news, yeah, FOMC. So the forecast is for, as per the previous, well, gold, not gold, sorry, US dollar has fallen in our favor, hasn't it, with all the supposed tariffs, things like that. I think economies are losing trust in the US dollar and are starting to move away from it. So still based off that, I still feel that, you know, the majors will continue bullish. Let's quickly check the DXY. see where we're at. Yeah, DXY's got a little bit of room to come down towards that 99 flat sort of region, and if it breaks that point, it's going to head back down towards 98.30 roughly. Fundamentally, I think a good chance it could continue down. Yeah, so I'd be more on the downside, to be honest, but I don't trade these. Plus, it's 4 AM my time, so no way I'm getting up to trade it. Mark, I think your education and advice is more valuable than just signals. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you very much. All right, so very simple just here. We need, has to close right at its low. It's closed below the 15, sorry, support. And then we may have a valid entry. Same issue, stop loss upper wick. Needs to be a decent one, tapping into the high of that zone. If it does so, then I would happily sell stop back below the catalyst low. But it probably won't present. We got 1 minute and 40 seconds. Has to close below.
Good question, maybe in this minute.
Yeah.
Would you consider some buys? Because we are approaching some support there. When we are touching the support, maybe from this level again, some buys.
If
it makes right now a big move without an upper wick.
You mean if it creates a low wick straight into that zone without an upper wick?
No. What I mean is right now. So if we are maybe we're not touching right now the support. Maybe with the other candle, the next candle touching this. Maybe then having a bullish candle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And after creating this bullish candle, maybe getting some buys.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure would. 100%. It's back at the support. It would make sense. Yeah. Sorry, man. Just gold look like it may drop, but it's not going to close below. Yeah, I definitely would. It's making a clear move down, so pretty sure it's still bullish in the 30 as well.
Okay. You mentioned this as a 4 hours, so, but it's not really.
No, it's not.
Right now. Okay. Yeah.
No, actually.
Yeah. But nevertheless, it's.
Don't know why I've got that.
It's a support
gray
at the end.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so nice clean golfing candle. There's no margin to sell it. I've been waiting to see how price reacts to support yet again.
Yeah.
Gold, we closed well above the support, so there's nothing. Maybe.
Sorry to
no, go for it, mate.
Do you know because there was a big move on NAS and the US this morning. Do you know something about that?
No idea actually. That was when was that? Yeah, 9 hours ago.
UJ also.
Could be something to do with that.
With what?
Percent agreed to meet with China to launch trade talks.
Okay.
Maybe off the back of that. Yeah, I wasn't even aware of that, to be honest. I haven't looked at NAS. Oh man, GJ. Oh, look what it's done. I was tapped in, had no low wick. Impulse entry is playing out again. All good. Andrew Tate, I doubt it. Well, yeah, GA. Oh, look at that. It's close below. It's just in consolidation. It's tricky at the minute as well. Everything is consolidating. Charts are shit. Clean entry is now above that point. And again, I don't like to sell, so just selling into consolidation, selling into all these wicks and traffic on the 15, it's shit. So to the downside, rather let it create a clean, strong move down, form support to buy it, or just look for the buys above. And you need a strong closure above because it's refusing to break from the consolidation. So you need the closure above, retest, continuation.
EU doesn't look bad.
What's that?
EU.
Yeah, nice strong closure. Bearish engulfing. Closing below 15 support.
There's margin there.
Yeah, EU looks okay. Oh man, gold's breaking. It's kind of like an arm wrestle all stream so far, whether it's going to the up or downside. Tough one.
Yeah, you can burn your fingers.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Just gotta wait, let it do its thing. Probably a shitter stream for a while, to be honest. This is just, yeah, very, very tricky at the minute. No margin as well to the downside. Nothing I can do. There's literally nothing I can do at the minute. Oh, these are real. What are we talking about? Is what real? What gold? Ali, I have no idea what you're talking about. I got a little update on that scam account too. Sent the prick a message. So I'm gonna send him 15k, but he's gotta send me 1 ETH first, and I'll send 15k. I want to see what his replies to that. Play him at his own game. If he's stupid enough to send me 1 ETH, I'm not going to send him 15k. He can go screw himself. Raindrops? I have no idea what he's asking about, to be honest.
It's not possible, Justin, if you have the bank details from this person to make some transaction. So here in Germany is sometimes it's possible if you have the bank details, so that you can pay a bill from something you have bought, ByBit.
Yeah.
Is it possible also in Australia?
Yeah, of course.
So maybe
you can reverse it too.
Bank details from this guy. Maybe you can use it.
Potentially. options. I just want to screw him, play him in his own game.
Not a criminal, man.
Nah, but I hate these people, and I'd rather play my own game because they've already. I'm assuming they've already screwed over quite a few because they've got like 7 people in their WAP, which is apparently the same one as mine. So I really want to screw the guy. We did it once, to be honest, in the old group. we actually did it. But it was nothing, but they deserved it because it was a scam. We didn't realize we had a sponsor. And little did we know, because we had some risk advisor who was a follower. And he looked into the company and said they're scam. It's not legit. They've literally copy pasted everything from this proper financial management service, and he was going to pay us in crypto, so we received the first payment and then we cancelled the sponsorship, and off the back of the fact that it was a scam, we said outright to the guy, we know your company's full of shit, we're going to take the payment and see you. Which is fair enough, because they're trying to scam our followers. I don't take kindly to that. When I've got people accusing me of scamming because they've fallen for it, not realizing it wasn't me, it was a different account. Yeah, screw them. That's all I can say. Screw the scamming bastards. This is shit, guys. Real crap at the minute. Just want to see what JJ rejected 50. Yeah, I'm not feeling the impulse entry at the minute.
The resistance, it takes some time maybe to have some clean traffic, clean traffic then. So yeah, so that means waiting.
And to be honest, that's a nice signal, but my concern is it didn't tap into the level I wanted to tap into. So that's why there's no solid entry for me from that point.
Absolutely. So same as in GU, as I mentioned before, if it's not tapping on the support, I'm not taking the price.
Fair enough. Peter, not much happening. Going to prepare dinner. Oh, yeah, all good, man. I'm probably going to do the same. It's shitty at the minute. Not a bad idea, to be honest. Raindrops, this is GJ at the minute. Quite one on stream today, TikTok as well, maybe because that earlier trade, but it's all good. Again, you're allowed to make mistakes. The record this year has been phenomenal. It's been a cracking year. Yeah, the charts are crap, guys. I'm also going to call it. I'm not going to get anything else at the minute. Gold is just at a nasty level. I need to let it cut through, create some nice clean moves. So I'm going to call it and wait for pre-MY with my team later. I think it's best to do right now. So what I'll be looking at gold is, well, again, if we pop up to this 3400 flat, we're still technically bearish in a 30-minute time frame. So I'll be looking for rejection for options to sell it. We begin to close above it. You want to see a retest. You're going to flip the structure if you confirm and wait patiently for a 30-minute closure above. Then allow the next count to pull back it to that point to retest it. And then you got a potential option to take it back up. My guys know what to look for. If it doesn't necessarily need to pull back to retap to tap into that zone based off the 5 minute. You can keep an eye out for that. So that's what I'll be looking at. Gold, it's choppy to the downside, preference a clean move to cut through it and then look to trade it later. I mean, GJ probably only half decent option. I mean, if it does reject, or at least close back below, but I'm not sure you're gonna have to margin. It's gonna be tricky. You can add, yeah, about 17 pips max. So looking for GJ, see how this counter closes. Closes very weak, bullish, so it could be options below it. If it closes back bearish, even better. But otherwise, to the upside, let it cut through the mess. Create a clean move up, pull back, form support. Look for buys. And if it does just drop, let it form support yet again. I'd rather it tap into 180 or 190.87 roughly. Form support 190.80, and definitely options for sells below it. That is the GJ. So yeah, so that's about it, guys. I'm gonna call it. Everyone, YouTube, appreciate it. Sorry, not a great day, but what can you do? It happens. Futures broker, no idea, my friend. I have no idea. Apologies, I can't help you with that. Raindrops, thank you. Thank you to everyone on TikTok. Take care, trade safe. Catch you guys tomorrow, same time. Until then, have a good one, guys. See ya.
Man. So maybe I will not on NY session.
All good, mate. Not a problem.
Yeah. Okay,
Catch you all later.
you,
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.